So, welcome to my ClickUp overview. You'll have to bear with my voice. I've got a bit of a cold developing. Typical. So, as you can see at the moment, I'm in calendar view, and you'll see there's things to do with the blog or blogs, but there's also building bedside cabinets, which is nothing to do with the blog at all. That is because, as you can see here, I'm in view everything, and I use ClickUp for more than just managing my blog. I use it to manage many projects. Although it's deceptive, it looks like I'm not doing a lot at the moment. In between blog posts, I do often plan things on a sort of semi-day-to-day basis. So if we look here at spaces, we've got my space and we've got household. So under my space, I've got two different blocks here. I've got things to do with being an entrepreneur or trying to be. So it might be projects I want to create in terms of reading material that I want to read, or courses I want to take. Obviously personal is, well, what it says, personal thoughts and ideas, so that can just be a place to put things that are just I'm thinking about. I want to keep it recorded somewhere, but there's nothing else particular creating, so that's obviously going to be my paper crafting, like my card making, the diamond painting, which I've just recently talked about on my Living Creatively with Fibro blog, and genealogy. And then under household, there's sort of room-based projects like for the bedroom, where I've got build the bedside cabinets in there, quick fixes and so on, maintenance, living room, similar things we want to do there, catering. If I go to catering, let's add in a view here. It's as simple as this. I can just choose, right, I'd like to add a calendar view into that, and as you'll see, all these recipes appear down the side, and it's so simple. When I want to plan a week's food, I can just bring them across and add them in. I haven't used that for a little while actually, since we've moved house, because it's all been a bit hectic. You know how it is when you've moved house, you're still unpacking everything like that, but I need to get back into planning things so we can organise our meals properly. And these ones, under everything under household, I actually share to my husband. He's got a view of it, so he can at any point see what tasks is included in to do, either do totally or help me with. Like, for instance, we had the build the bedside cabinet in. He can see what's on the menu for food under catering, and so on. So household space is all about us, and these boards are all about me specifically. Yes, I can share the odd task to him. If there's something under the bonnet that I'd like his opinion on too, I can get him involved in it. So as you can see, we've got the different views, which I've already mentioned. We've got this calendar view, so I can very quickly, anything that's sort of there but unscheduled, I can just drag in and drop it on the board where I'd like to put it. You'll see there's different colours in here. That's because there's different settings for where you are with any given task. So let's actually go in and look at a task. So this one here that you're actually watching right now, ClickUp Project Management. So can create my task. This shows a list of everything that's going on. I'm working on it and writing it now. If I just click into that, you can see open is a default system one. So you can't change open and closed, but there's planned, researching it. You might think, why in progress and writing? Well, that's because in progress is for things that are not specifically a blog post. They might be to do with the blog, something to do with designing it and things like that. So it's not a specific thing I'm writing it, but it's a task that is in progress, and closed. You can add task lists. So I've created a submenu there, draft it, edit it, images, do the SEO, do the social media. As you can see, it's got one completed one there, which means that I've done one thing. In this case, it's start writing it, which obviously I've done. Under here, if I just put in that, you can add all sorts of things. So you can format your tests with headings, text, dividers, table. You can add a table into this section. Quotes. So if you wanted to include quotes from other blogs or from other people, you can add them all here in your notes. Links to things. If you're quite techie minded, you can add some code in there. Obviously, we've got the list there. You can change the background of this box. Embed things in. You can embed in a YouTube video. You can, I don't know what Figma and Loom are actually. Vimeo is sort of similar to YouTube. So you can embed all these things all in here in your notes, and then obviously you can assign it to people. You can set priorities, so especially anything you don't want to specifically put on the calendar as a day view, it might be something that you're doing in an ongoing nature. You can just set priorities, so you can go to a different view, like the list view, and see what you've got on in what priority. You can add due dates and due times. You can estimate how long you think a task will take you. If you're, for instance, doing something for somebody else, especially if it's a paid job, whether you're like me and you're creative and you might be a crafter, or maybe you're writing a paid guest post for somebody, you can actually estimate and see how long it takes you to do a task, and then you know for any billing purposes. You can add a start date, so if it's something on the horizon but you can't begin it until a certain time, you can add your start date in there, so you can see at a glance when you can get on beginning it. You can add different tasks into things. Clone tasks, so change the status to closed, or close, not clone. You can add subtasks, and you can also add waiting on dependency and blocking dependency. So that is when one task is relating to another. So for instance, on my main Living Creatively with Fibro blog, I've sometimes blogged about a particular crafting project I've made. So in which case, the task which is creating the card or whatever I've done, I can't do the blog post until I've done that. So therefore, those two can be set up so that I can see I'm free to get on with the blog post once I've finished creating the card. So it creates that relationship for you, and you can see at a glance, oh, I haven't done X, Y, or Z yet, so I better bump up that blog post to another day because it won't be ready in time. Okay, task mention. So not so much something blocking, but you might just want to remind about another task. So add the hashtag in, and then it'll mention it within your notes there, and attachments there. So as you can see, there's so much more than just somewhere to write something, but equally you can just write something in there and it'll all appear in your stream. So as you can see, it's really comprehensive. It's so much more than just a little box. You can drop files straight away onto it there, or you can type something in here for it to come up here. As we can see, we've got the logging time, estimate task time. Here where we've got watchers, you can see if you are sharing to somebody how many people are watching it. As you can see here, minimize. So if you minimize it, it's there. So it's still open. It's just put it in a little tab straight away so I can bring it up. It's got the little tick there, so if I just do that, it's not done anything at all to it bar removed it from a minimize. So now when I go to close it, it's there safe, but it's not in my minimize tray. So that's some of the things you can see under the calendar view. You can go to boards. So this puts things into the Kanban view. So you can see what's open there, things that are planned, things that I'm commonly working on, what's in progress and writing now, all your different things there. You can filter things by status, priority, who it's assigned to, and then we have a list view. So this brings it up like here. So we can view things by the status, which is default view. So there you've got researching, planned, open. We've got priority. So it's what's set as high, normal, and then no priority. Due date. What's due when? Once again, so you can see what's today first, future dates, no dates. For me personally, I wouldn't use the list view in due date because I would do that in the calendar instead. I'm most likely to use this in priority so that I can go straight away and look at what have I said is high priority that I'm interested in working on. As well as these three views, there are other views. There's a box view. Let's have a look at that one. So if you want to see everybody's workload, you would have to have a business level. A lot of this can be done actually in the free level, but personally I do pay because I want to have all the features that you get for paid. But this would take you, as it says there, upgrade for $9 a user. That would be $9 a user a month, but obviously for my purposes I don't need this. But if you were running a team, it's worth considering. Can see here at a glance, for the project you're in, how many's closed. You can see here, so I've got 59 things done, I've got 27 things not done, so I've done 69% of what is assigned to me. But things in here include 13 which are open, so some of those things are literally just ideas. There are things that I do put in, I get an idea, I put it in there, think about it, and then never actually do that because it's an idea that I've weighed up and decided I don't actually want to write a blog post about that, or I don't want to create that piece of work anymore. Then we've got Gantt view. So the Gantt view, under the different projects, it shows you through them. So if I click on that, for instance, it gives you an idea of what's what within it, along the date line, which you can see along there. Personally, I'm not really a Gantt viewer, but some people obviously use it. Depends on what you like to do. So if that's suddenly dizzy, going a bit fast there. You can see you've got the dates, what projects are on the go at once. So it's not a favourite view of mine. I pretty much stick to these first three. My calendar at a glance, and as you'll see, I've got a filter showing up there. That's because I've told it that I also want to see closed, completed things. So at a glance, I can see if I go back, for instance, you know, those are the 3 blog posts I put out. Well, 2 blog posts and my mum's birthday card that I did last month. Some months are much busier, obviously. Moved house recently, so that's taken a bit of my time out and my energy levels out. So some of these months, you know, I've got every week I've got at least one thing in it. As it gets closer to Christmas, I'm going to obviously get busier again. This is my overall planning. It's not the tool I use for day to day. When it comes to day to day, I actually use Todoist as my just daily task manager. That's the things that, you know, it has things like read some of my current book, have a shower, brush my teeth, you know, little basic habits and day-to-day things that to remind me that I need to do those things. This is sort of the bigger overview of what I want to be achieving in a week and planned ideas. So I hope this has given you just a little bit of an overview of what you can see here. If I go to inbox, that shows you today view, but it can also show you, if I click on unscheduled, that's the unscheduled things that I've got in there. Sorry, that's the unscheduled view, isn't it? Sorry. Back to the inbox again. Other than your today view, inbox is good because you can send projects to it from your email and from other pieces of software. It plays nicely with quite a lot. You might have spotted this at the bottom, Learn. They've actually upgraded recently to version number 2. And if you choose to, you can go through and, you know, read and watch all these little training things. So they provide a lot of help. You can set goals. I haven't done this yet. Once again, it gives you information on how to set goals. You know, so that's a big picture things. Rather than a specific project, you know, it's what your goal is overall, and then break it down into measurable targets, which become your tasks as such. So that's something I'm planning on doing once we get into 2020, which is alarmingly soon, to actually use the goals and see if I can achieve some of my bigger pictures. We've got here portfolios, high level view of lists that only you care about, and then there is reporting. Reporting is obviously more for somebody who is managing a team of several users. Let's just go back into my show everything view, and other useful things here. We've got a notepad. You can literally here use a notepad, make some notes. Hide notepad a second. We've got, I can open that back up again. You've got reminders, so you can create a reminder there. And we've got straight away just to click for a new task. So there's things that you can do instantly there. The other thing you can do is, if I go back into my browser, we've got there. So I can just click straight into it. So from whichever web page I'm on, from my emails or anywhere else, you know, I can take screenshots. I can start tracking the time while I'm doing something, which comes back into the estimated time you had within the view. Get straight to the notepad, send off an email from here, create a bookmark, so it can become a bookmark tool. So you've got all of that you can do just from within any web page. That is a browser extension, that is. So I hope you found that useful, and if you'd like to know anything more specifically about it, drop me a comment either if you're watching this in YouTube below, or if you're watching it on the blog post, you can comment there. Thank you.